Okay, great. Thank you so much, Ubukum, for that wonderful introduction. I'm so grateful. Thank you for giving me this platform, for coming here to show people or lead people how to build their data analytics career. Thank you so much for this, and thank you for all you've been doing in the letter back down. I really appreciate it. Thank you. It's a privilege being here, and I won't take it for granted. Thank you so much, and thank you for all the people on this platform and also those that are still going to join in. It's my pleasure being here for us to co-learn, together. My name is Victor Otzi, and I'm a data analyst for the past 10 years. Yes, I've been a data analyst, in the big data industry, telecoms industry, to be precise, and also have a company, Vikot Integrated Solutions, where we train people on data analytics solutions, where we also consult for organizations. So we've been doing this for over a few years now, and we've also been helping people. We've been coaching people, we've been mentoring people on data analytics and new trends, in the data analytics industry. So thank you for joining me. I'm based out of Manchester in London, in UK. I'm married with 2 children. Thank you so much, for joining us on this platform. It's a great privilege to have everyone here to co-learn together. So please feel free to ask any question during the course of the presentation. We're going to take it slowly, because we know there are a lot of people joining in here without data analytics experience. So we're just going to start. Data analytics, could be technical, but trust me, I'm going to take it very slowly, from the beginning, and you will get to understand. I like the concept of the ladder back down. So you don't climb the ladder from the top, neither do you climb it from the middle. You have to start from the very first step. So you have to lift your leg onto the very first step of the ladder, and you don't just climb the ladder, with your legs. No, you don't climb only with your legs. You have to support the ladder with your hands. Do you understand? So we're going to take it. That's the approach we are going to adopt. So step by step, then supporting the ladder. So we are holding you by the hand, little by little, until you get you. So you are coming up the ladder step by step till you get to the very top. And even when you're at the very top, we are still there to help you sustain that momentum. Somebody once said, charisma may take you to the top, but character will sustain you at the top. So we also are available to make sure once you have gotten to the top, we can help you, to increase that velocity, that momentum, and keep going. Okay, so we're going to make this section interactive. Please feel free to drop your questions in the comment section or in the chat section. Drop your questions there. I'll be looking at the comment section. I'll be taking the questions as we proceed. Okay, so it's going to be a long ride. We're going to have a long ride. We'll look at some theoretical background to data analytics, and we're going to do some hands-on. So please, I want to beg you, try as much as to join with your laptop. If you want to get value from this presentation, join with your laptop. Don't join with a mobile phone. As much as it's possible, but if it's not possible, fine. But if it's possible, I would strongly recommend you join with your laptop, and it's going to be wonderful. The process is going to be easier for you, and you could leverage from there to the next level of your career. Okay, so I'm going to go into the presentation slides now, and we'll take it a step at a time. Okay. So the topic we are looking at today is the aspirational data analysis, skill sets, and tools. There are people here that already have some experience on data analytics or data analysis. There is still an opportunity to learn more. So we're going to go through all that together. I'm going to touch every point as much as possible to ensure everybody gains value or derives value from this presentation. And after this presentation, it's my believe that it's my expectation that you will no longer be afraid of data. You will no longer be afraid of the field data analytics. You will have enough information, to help you all the way in making the best out of this career. Okay. So let's just go into the slides one after the other. So I'm going to start with the very first thing, data. What is data? Well, this is a bedrock that drives everything about data analysis or data analytics. We need to understand what data is. I believe my screen is visible and I'm audible. If at any point in time I'm not audible, just drop it in the comment section so that I can take a quick look at it. Okay. So what is data? According to Google Data Analytics, a very wonderful course, on Coursera out there, very wonderful course. I will tell you more about that later. So according to Google Data Analytics, data is a collection of facts. So the facts could be text, alphanumeric, alpha text or numbers, could be text, pictures, music, videos, tweets, likes. Those are data. Those are data points. We call them data points. You send a text message, you make a transfer from your banking mobile app, that's data. Even your body is generating data. The human body is generating data. You may not know. So if I put an instrument in your body, I could get your pulse rate per second. I could get your BP, your blood pressure. I could get some vital information, your temperature. I could get vital information. So they call it vitals. I could get some vital information about your body. And if I continue with that trend over time, I could tell you your risk factors about your health. I could tell you certain things you should not do, certain food you should not eat, certain places you should not go to, certain exercises you should not do. Why? Because I have data about you and I can make informed decision. Okay, so everything around you, it's data. Your house number is a data. So just look at, there are data touch points everywhere. So text, pictures, music, body vitals, tweets, likes, it's data. And these data are classified into three categories. We have the structured data, we have the unstructured data, and we have the semi-structured data. So as a data analyst, you will come across these three sets of data. But mostly, for those of us starting, mostly you will be dealing with structured data. 90% or more of the time, you will be dealing with structured data. Okay, because what are structured data? They've been claimed, they have been arranged in a particular format. Do you understand? So popularly, they are arranged in rows and columns. So any data you see in rows and in columns, typically like your spreadsheets, your Google Sheets, that is structured data. Most relational database management system, RDBMS, there's a big word, don't worry, I will simplify it. RDBMS is Relational Database Management System. A database is a repository of information about a particular subject. It could be about students, it could, as data subjects, it could be about employees, it could be information about countries. Do you understand? So any repository that houses information about a subject is called a database. So you go there to retrieve the information from the data. So it's a collection of information or data about a subject. Okay, so, and there are different types of databases. We have relational database, we have non-relational database. Okay, so most of the time as data analysts, you will be working with a relational database management system. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to be working with non-relational. No, so it's a different skill set. That's a different skill set, but most of the time you will be working with a relational database management system. Okay, so the data in the relational database management system is structured data. You will see structured because they are arranged in rows and in columns. Anytime you see data arranged in rows and in columns, that is structured data. Okay. On the other hand, unstructured data doesn't have a predefined format. So it comes in any format. It could be an image, it could be a text file, it could be videos all coming. So in a particular tweet, Twitter, for example, you see different kind of data coming in. You know, somebody could send an emoji, somebody could send a video, somebody could send a text. So different kinds of data that are coming all in a place. So it is not structured. So it comes with so much complexity that it makes the individual with specialized skills to analyze these types of data. Okay, that is unstructured data. Then the third category is a semi-structured data. It combines the attributes of the structured and the unstructured data. So, and there are actually two categories, two types or two examples of semi-structured data. There could be more, but generally there are two examples. You have your XML and you have your HTML. Big words, don't worry, I'm going to break it down because this should be simple as possible. So examples, there are emails, HTML files, or XML files. HTML files are the language used, the background language used in coding websites. You know, for those of you that are into website design, back in the days, we used to code in XML. You use your notepad, you code in XML, you understand? But now there are fantastic tools that you can use in website design, that you don't have to go into the nitty-gritty of coding in HTML. So that's example of an HTML data. Then also XML are used by some programmers to also define, to also store some kind of data. So you have the XML. XML is extensible markup language. So any data you're going to be working with as a data analyst falls under these three categories. Either they are structured, unstructured, or semi-structured. Okay. Now, having understood what data is, what data looks like, now, what is data analysis? What is data analysis? Okay. I'm going to use 4 terms to explain data analysis. I'm going to use 4 terms that are common to explain data analysis. 4 terms that are common. There are so many other terms associated with data, but these 4 are common, and you'll see them mostly in job postings. You understand? They are common. So I'm going to use this to explain what is data analysis. 1, the ability to analyze, interpret, and question data. Ask questions about data, because data talks. Whatever data you have, they talk over time. So you need somebody with an expertise to be able to ask that data some certain questions. And based on the answers you get from the data, you can provide solutions. You can solve problems. Do you understand? So with the right skills, data analysis can allow you to gain and act on customer insights. You can predict the future, with the answers you get from the data. If you don't get anything from here, just note that data talks. You can ask data questions, and the data will give you answers. Based on the answers you get from the data, you can solve problems with it, and you can make what we call data-driven decisions. So the next term is data analytics. They are closely related. I'm going to elaborate in the next slide the difference between analysis and data analysis and data analytics. So when you analyze data, extract meaningful insight from the data with the purpose of making informed decision, that is data analytics. Then the other branch of data analysis is what we call data engineering, or the people we call data engineers. Okay, so these guys, they build the systems. They are not in charge of analyzing the data. They are not. They don't. Their job is not to analyze data. Their job is to build the systems that will hold the data, that will store the data for data analysts to make use of. That is what these guys do. That's what we call them data. Their job is more architectural. Sometimes if you see data architects, is the same thing, data engineer, data architects, data solution architects. These guys are fantastic guys, okay? So a data analyst can transit from being, somebody can transit from being a data analyst to a data architect or a data engineer, okay? Why? Because you have understood data. You understand the different kinds of data. You're not building systems that will help store the data for other people to analyze. Then the last term is the guys we call data scientists. These guys are awesome also. So there are a lot of data science courses out there, you know, if you want to study, but please try to understand what it is. It's also a branch of data analysis, okay? But it's more techy. So when you build plain and structured data sets, so I told you there are data that is unstructured, and data that is semi-structured. These guys, they have the expertise using different programming languages to make sure the data is clean. It's presented in a format that is easily to be analyzed, that can be easily understood. Do you understand? So you can think of data science as a precursor to data analysis. Okay? So if your data isn't structured, if it is not cleaned, do you understand, how would we be able to draw insights from the data? So the guys responsible in cleaning those data, you know, structuring those data, making it presentable so that you can analyze, are called data science. And it's cuts across three branches: statistics, machine learning, and analytics. So when you are involved in all these three, statistical analysis, machine learning, and analytics, you are a data scientist, okay? Some people just prefer to stay in analytics or statistical analysis, okay? They're not really interested in being a data scientist, but once you combine all these three together, then you can say you're a data scientist. You don't only analyze data, you're into statistical analysis, predictive. We see all that, you know, machine learning algorithms. Machine learning is like building, using programming languages to build, excuse me, to build some set of instructions that are iterative in nature. You understand? Because in data analysis, we do quite a number of number of repetitive tasks. So somebody can come in and say, okay, I can automate all these tasks such that it will require little or no human intervention, and you will begin to see the results in dashboards, you know, in emails, in spreadsheets like that, and you can make decisions from there. So those guys, that's what we call machine learning. Okay, so the data science is an umbrella that encompasses these three disciplines. So if you do statistical analysis, data analytics, machine learning, then you are a data scientist, and it requires a further expertise, education for you to, you know, be able to progress in this particular field. Okay. Now let's differentiate between data analysis and data analytics. This terms often they sounds confusing, though sometimes people use them, you know, interchangeably. So try to understand this today: data analysis, data analytics. When we talk about analysis, data analysis, we're actually trying to gain insights from historical events. So data analysis is gaining insights based on what has happened in the past. You ask the questions: how did it happen? Why did it happen? For example, if sales dropped in the last quarter, maybe sales of a particular product in an organization dropped, you want to know why. Why did it drop? Why did we experience a dip in our revenue in the last quarter? You want to know why. The data will tell you why that dip happened. So when you do those kinds of analysis, we call it data analysis, because you are working on historical events to gain insights, so to understand why and how things happened. So it's looking into patterns, trying to get a particular pattern from the data. Okay, then the outcome of that is what now goes into data analytics. Data analytics is futuristic, it's not on historical events. And it tends towards decision making. So when you analyze data towards making a decision, that is data analytics. It is futuristic, it's predictive in nature, it's prescriptive in nature, such that the outcome of data analysis is what you feed into data analytics. You cannot do data analytics without data analysis. Okay, that means you cannot predict the future without analyzing the past. That's the difference between these two. So if you want to predict the future, what kind of sales do we intend to make in the next 6 months? If you're into a supermarket business, what is the volume of inventory do I need to hold in a particular period such that I don't overstock? That is data analytics. And you cannot achieve that without data analysis, without having analyzed how your supermarket business has behaved, how things has emerged in the last period. You want to know what are the kind of sales I'm making the most, who are the kind of customers that buys this kind of stock. Do you understand? At what points do this inventory go below a particular number? So you need to analyze those data. Then from the results you get, you can now start making predictions. Okay, maybe you're getting towards the Christmas period and you see that, okay, quite a number of families will be sending presents to their loved ones. Do you understand? You may need to start changing your inventory. Okay, I need to restock Christmas trees, or maybe or baskets, or gifts, wrappers, all those things. So because you've had a pattern in the past and you can make predictions, you can tell, okay, the volume of inventory you need to bring into your supermarkets. Do you understand? By so doing, you have eliminated wastes, overstocking or over inventory, which may lead to costs. So because there's holding cost to inventory, there are risks associated with it, and all those things. So that's the high level difference between data analysis and data analytics. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm just trying to look at the comments so that I see maybe there are questions coming in the comments. Somebody said they're not getting the slides. Can everybody see my slide? Is my slide visible, please? Just type YY. My slide is visible. Just type YY on the comments. Okay, okay. The slide is my proprietary, but you will get the video. You won't get a slide. I'm not promising you will get a slide, but you will get the recorded. If you register for the events, you will surely get the recorded video, but not a slide. Okay. So please confirm my slide is visible, please. Okay, why? Thank you for that confirmation. Thank you. So I see. Okay, thank you so much for those comments. Okay, moving on to the next slide. Now, why data analytics? Why do you want to come into this field, into this discipline? Why do you want to be a data analyst, or why should you be a data analyst? One is the large volume of data, the proliferation of data across all sectors of the economy. Data is growing massively. Is growing astronomically. The use of data, the generation of data is growing. As at November 2022, Google processes more than 40,000 searches per second. That is about 3.5 billion searches per day and 1.2 trillion searches every year. That is large data. That is what we categorize as big data because of the volume, the velocity, the veracity, the variety, name it. That is big. That is massive data. YouTube has about more than 2 billion users. As of today, more than 2 billion users. If YouTube were to be a country, they will be the most populated on earth. And they will have overtaken China, which is about 1.7 or 1.8 billion. The second is the demand. Because data is growing, organizations are looking for experts that can process this data and make informed decisions from it. They are looking for people that can generate data-driven insights that influences business decision. I just told you about a supermarket that needs to understand the level of its inventory and when to order for new items, when to manage it to our customers. Do you understand? So if you run a supermarket business, you need to introduce data analytics so that you can manage your inventory properly, increase your sales, reduce your costs. So organizations are looking for people. There are so many other examples. I'm just using the supermarkets as one. Okay, then there are opportunities because data is growing. There are opportunities. Currently, there are more than 2.3 million job openings for data-related roles. And according to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, they have indicated about that by 2026, there will be 11.5 million data job openings. You can become a part of it. You can become a part of this future by starting now. A Japanese ad, it says the best time to plant a tree was yesterday. It said the next best time is now. So you can start now. Then why data analytics? Why do I need to go into data analytics? It's flexible. The flexibility is just there. Okay. If you are to switch from your career as a salesperson into medicine, it will take you at least 7 years, if not more. If you are to go into law, it will take you some number of years to switch into law. Maybe as a nurse, you want to go into law, it will take you some time to switch into that career. Okay, but data analytics, data, it doesn't matter what your first degree is. Why? Data is about solving problems and helping individuals and organizations to make informed decisions. Anybody who can solve such a problem, it doesn't matter the color of your skin, it doesn't matter your race, it doesn't matter your education. If you can solve a problem with data, you are needed. Okay, that's why sometimes professionals will advise you when you are formatting your CV, don't put your educational qualification first, but that's not the first thing people are interested in. They want to know your work experience. The first thing they want to know is your value, the problems you can solve. That's why they ask you to bring your work experience first. Let them see what you have done, the projects you have done, where you have worked, the responsibilities you have handled. Yes, that's the first thing the recruiters wants to see. So is that flexible to come into data, provided you have a passion for it? Is that flexible? You start a program within 6 to 9 months. You can be rest assured that you are comfortable analyzing data and you can get your first job in data analytics. And it could be less, depending on how much hours, how many hours you can impute, you can give into studying and into carrying out assignments or projects. It could be less, but give or take between 6 to 9 months, you should be ready getting your first job. Let's continue, please. I hope there are no questions for me in the chat. Okay, thank you for this. Okay, let's continue. Now, let's understand the types of data analysis you'll be carrying out. So as a data analyst, whatever you're going to be doing falls under these broad categories. So it's either you are doing descriptive analytics, diagnostics, predictive, or prescriptive analytics. So what is descriptive? When you examine what has happened in the past in order to gain insights, to understand the reason or reasons why they happened, or when they happened, then that is descriptive analytics. So you're looking at why has quarterly sales been declining? You understand? Why is it that our subscription base suddenly spiked? During the COVID-19, Netflix experienced a surge, a spike in the number of subscriptions because a lot of people were at home and they were watching movies. You understand, during the pandemic, and they looking at that, they did a lot of predictive algorithm, I'll come to that, to ensure they provide some packages or some products that people can also subscribe to. So they made a lot of money. Zoom also made a lot of money during that period because they saw an opportunity and they took a hold of it. So descriptive analytics will help you to understand what has happened, why they happened, or when they happened. Okay. So it allows organizations to look at trends or patterns. How does their customer behave? Okay, yes, how does a customer behave? Then the next one is diagnostics. Diagnostics looks at evidence. You are looking for forensic evidence in the data. What has happened? No, I once told the story of a particular, yes, there was a particular movie I watched. It was a crime scene. Somebody murdered a man. So the murderer was left-handed, you understand? And they framed another person. So another person, took the fall. They made someone else to take the fall while the murderer is still at large. But when the detective got to the scene of this crime, after putting a lot of data points together, analyzing data, he was able to come to a great finding that whoever pulled this trigger is left-handed. However, the man they have in custody is right-handed, so he can never be the murderer. So you won't be able to understand that without some data points. So when you're trying to understand what has actually happened, you are doing forensic. You're looking for forensic evidence in data. Examples: the audit trails about misappropriation of funds, public funds, comes under this. So we are trying to get to know how are these funds, where is this fund going to? Whenever a fund moves from a particular account, where does it go to? Maybe a particular designated offshore account, you discover that, okay, a particular sum of money is going to this particular offshore account. Now I look at the trend has been consistent with time. You can bring out forensic evidence from that particular data. That is what we call diagnostics analysis. Okay, and it helps organizations to determine the root cause. You want to know the cause of a particular negative outcome. Then you move to predictive. Predictive, as the name implies, you want to make a suggestion. You want to make an outcome in the future. So using descriptive and diagnostics analysis, you want to make a prediction about the future. So Netflix, for example, they have used descriptive and diagnostic analytics to make some predictions about who will not likely renew their Netflix subscription in the next coming period. So they can determine those kind of customers and quickly churn out some promos to those categories of customers. So your segmentation, your customer segmentation comes under predictive analytics. When you segment your customer base and discover that, oh, these sets of customers are unlikely to renew that subscription on your products, you want to give them something like a carrot. You want to dangle a carrot before them. Oh, if you do this, you get half of the price. You don't do that on your entire customer base. You do that on a particular base whose spending power is very, very low, and you want to give them something, an incentive to make them stick to your brand. So that is predictive analytics. So you are likely to know a customer who is unlikely, who is not going to renew a contract or a product subscription. Then prescriptive is when you actually dangle a carrot, give the customer a carrot. And organizations use this a lot. Have you come across cookies? When you're on a web page, a window pops up that we accept cookies. What does cookies do? They collect certain data about you, the sites you regularly visit, the time you visit those websites, the products you are looking for, your interests. So they are collecting all those data about you. So the websites, the cookies and internet traffic, they collect data about the individuals that use those sites. And when they collect this data, they analyze it and they can use it for different ads. So the next time you are on the system again, you see different ads coming to you, and you will be sure, how did they know I love this? It's because they have analyzed data about you over a period of time. And they likely know the things you look at when you come on the internet. So they make some predictions and prescribe certain products to you. The e-commerce industry use this a lot. The ad agencies use prescriptive analytics a lot to market their products. Okay, so all the analysis you'll be doing falls under these four categories. It is descriptive, diagnostics, predictive, or prescriptive analytics. Okay, now this slide is very, very interesting. Please pay attention to this slide. You will understand how data evolves. It's a cycle. Okay, let me see if I have some comments. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Eddie. Okay, so somebody is asking a question here. What do you call one who is into data analysis? Data analyst, is a data analyst, data analytics, data analyst. So it's data analyst, data analyst. So as a data analyst, you can carry out data analysis, you can carry out data analytics. You understand? So we call them data analysts. Okay. But if that moves beyond analyzing data to gain insights and generate data-driven decisions, you're now going to what we call cleaning data, structuring data, presenting data for analysts to make use of them. Then you call yourself either a data engineer, you call yourself a data scientist. But when you're in charge of building systems to hold those data, then you are a data engineer. Okay. So how do you differentiate their title from what they do? I know data scientists and data engineer. Okay, so I've just explained that. Okay, from the beginning. So if your job spans beyond analyzing the data to building systems that will hold the data, okay, maybe in a cloud environment, Azure, AWS, Google Cloud. So you're a data engineer. Do you understand? So if your role is to build systems like databases, maybe Oracle databases, MySQL, Postgres databases for those data to go into those locations so that people can have access to them, you are a data engineer. I hope that answers your question. So how do you know what type of, okay, Sarah, thank you for this question. Okay, how do you know what type of analysis you need to conduct? Okay, You don't know. Okay, you don't know. However, for every data analysis exercise, there is a problem statement. I'm going to get to that. So if you give me some time, I will get to that. So because it's not one type fits all. So for every data analysis, there is a problem statement. So the problem statements will determine what kind of analysis you need to conduct, you need to carry out. Okay, we're going to get to that. Like I said, data analysis is about solving problems and helping organizations to make data-driven decisions. So I'm going to get to that slide, Sarah. Okay. Okay, so let's continue. The data ecosystem and life cycle. How does it start? The first point of data is generation. That's the first point of data. Your first contact with data is at the point that data is actually generated. So you make a phone call, send a text message, you make a purchase, you move money from one account to another. Those are data touch points, do you understand? So your vitals, like I told you, the human body generates data. So if I have the proper equipment that I can attach to your body, today, look at your smart wristwatches. Do you understand? You attach your smart wristwatch or a handband to you, and those gadgets, begin to collect data from the human body, your pulse per second, your blood pressure, the total distance you have walked, the number of calories you have burned, like that. So they keep generating this data. So humans generate data. Okay. So the data are generated by could be computers, it could be machines, it could also be the human body, like I explained. At this stage, the data is raw. You can't actually make sense of it. It's raw. It's not readable by humans. Take, for example, your traffic cams. As you drive, those traffic cams are constantly taking data from your vehicle. You understand? Maybe your registration number, the speed at which you are moving. If you decide to disobey the traffic lights, do you understand? They are taking data. They are taking at every point in time. They are taking data. Those machines, those cams, they are machines. They are taking data. Okay. Then once these data are generated, they are moved into the next stage, which is collection. The data are collected, in that format they are collected. So the collection is the movement of data from the systems or machines that generates them to a repository where they are further taken for processing. So imagine your traffic counts at every junction taking image data at every point in time. They have some sort of memory devices in them, some sort of chip in them that stores those data. It could be in different formats. It could be in binary formats because they are not usually readable to human beings. Do you understand? Until they are taken further for processing. So imagine those traffic cams keep storing data constantly. If those data are not moved away, it will get to a time, it will clog the memory of that device. That device will not be able to function properly again. Do you understand? So data being generated by these machines or systems are moved away, almost in real time. In real time, they are being moved away to a repository. Now, those repositories could be file servers, could be data lakes, it could be data marts. Do you understand? They are moved to those locations where they're not taken for further processing. Then we now move to the third stage, which is the actual processing. So the building, the cleaning, and the structuring of all these data sets that has been taken from all these machines. Do you understand? They analyze them, they segment them, into their different categories and into the different locations where analysts can actually pick them up and start generating insight from them. So these particular activity are performed by data scientists, or data engineers using different ETL tools. ETL is extraction, transformation, and loading. We're going to do an example of it during this workshop. Okay. Then we move to the next thing, which is storage. So processed data is kept for future use and retrieval purposes. The storage media could be database servers, could be your cloud storage platforms like the AWS, Google Cloud Storage, Microsoft Azure, Hadoop, for big data. It could be spreadsheets, or it could only be Google Sheets. Do you understand? So the data engineers, they process all this data and make it available in different platforms where you can make use of it. Your own platform could be a relational database, could be Oracle, could be MySQL, it could be Postgres, it could be IBM DB. So it could be any database platform. Okay, so some could be it could be in the cloud, cloud storage platforms like AWS. Those data will be there for analysts to connect to those platforms and start analyzing those data to generate insights from the data. Okay, then we go into the management of data. So data stored, wherever the data are stored, they requires management. And what do I mean by management? The security and the privacy of those data is very, very important. So the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of those data must be adhered to. It must be maintained at all times. Confidentiality simply means only those that need access to those data actually are given the access on a need to use or on a need to know basis. You can't expose your data just to anybody. Some data are very, very sensitive. Maybe medical records, financial records, trade secrets. They are very, very, very sensitive. So you can't just expose them. So the access rights must be maintained at all times. The access privilege or ACL, access control lists, must be maintained at all times to ensure only people or only those that need access, authorized access to those data, actually have them. Then the integrity of the data simply means the data should remain consistent at all times. So if, for example, you use your mobile phone or your mobile banking app on your mobile phone to check your bank account, to check your bank balance, it should be the same thing when you use your debit card to check it on the in the ATM machine. The balance should be same. It should also be the same thing when you walk into the bank and ask the banking official to give you your bank balance. So at all times, that balance should be consistent, irrespective of the platform you are using to check that particular account balance. It should be consistent. So if the consistency is not there, the data has lost its integrity, and you cannot trust such a platform, such an organization to hold your data. You want to bank with such an organization whereby your bank balance is not consistent when you check them across different platforms. You will not be comfortable. So organizations ensures that data retains its integrity, that somebody is not messing up with the data, okay? And the data should be available to avoid denial of service. If, for example, you need to pay for a subscription with a promo using your bank debit card, and that service is not available at that particular point in time, and you miss that promo, it will be so painful. You will no longer trust that bank again. So to avoid denial of service, organizations ensures that the data systems is always available. Okay, and these are performed by professionals like database administrators, data security professionals, and the likes of them. Okay, then we move to the analysis stage. This is where data analyst comes in. Okay, this is where the analyst comes in. So you interrogate this data, you ask questions about the data, you summarize the data, you can gain insights. You ask the questions how, why, and we use so many tools: Excel, SQL, Python, R, Power BI, Tableau, different kinds of tools to analyze data. Then, having analyzed data, the outcome of your analysis should be summarized for senior leadership to see and make informed decisions. At this stage, you want to make sure that the outcome is concise, is user is friendly, the look and feel No, it's friendly to the stakeholders who are going to make decisions about this data. So outcome of your analysis is summarized in graphs, charts, tables, pictures. And oftentimes, or most of the time, we use data visualization tools. That's what we call data visualization. Presenting the outcome of your findings from the data in charts, in graphs, in tables. The combination of this is what we call a dashboard. A dashboard is a combination of the charts, the graphs, the tables. That's a dashboard. Okay, so this is called data visualization because at this point it is summarized and people can easily relate with it and make sense of it. Then the last stage, business decisions are taken. You understand? They make sense from that data. Business decisions are taken and the cycle goes like that. Please, if you don't take anything away from here, understand this cycle. This cycle alone can make you scale through an interview as a data analyst because they know you understand what you are talking about. You understand? Quite a number of people have gone through this chart and have been able to ace some interview questions because they have a 360 degrees view how data evolves in an organization. Okay. Moving into the next slide, please. Don't forget, if you have your questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I will take your questions, please. Okay. Okay, so this is also an interesting slide for those of you that actually want to migrate into the field of data analysis. You want to become a data analyst. There are 3 key disciplines you need to arm yourself with. There are 3 key main areas you need to focus on if you want to start your journey into data analytics. The first one is your understanding of what we call a relational database management system. That's RDBMS and SQL. SQL is structured query language. Is a language that you can use to talk to a relational database management system. And please, I assume that you already know how to use Excel because Excel is also powerful. Excel should be among these lists you're seeing here. Microsoft Excel should be here. Microsoft Excel is a very powerful data analytics tool. Very, very powerful. You understand? Your Power BI is an extension of Excel. You understand? Excel only has some certain limitations in terms of the number of records it can contain, like just a little over 1 million. More than that, Excel will not be able to contain it. Okay, and the performance issues associated with Excel when the data set is so large. Otherwise, Excel is also a fantastic data analytics tool. So I advise people know how to use Excel very well. In Vikot Integrated Solutions, our Excel, we teach people Excel free of charge. You don't have to pay us. We teach you Excel free of charge. So because we know it's fundamental, it's key. It's key. I've interviewed a number of data analysts that are fantastic in using SQL, Python, and Tableau or Power BI, but they are poor in their analysis skills with Excel. They're very poor in it. So please develop your Excel. Then SQL. The first language you need to pick up is SQL. This is very important. SQL, otherwise called structured query language, is the #1 industry language. Every data analyst or every aspiring data analyst must know how to use. Is a bedrock for data analysis. Is a bedrock. Okay, so almost all the organizations need somebody who knows SQL. Even if they put Python, R, Tableau, they will still want you to understand SQL. Okay, that is a language you use in talking to a relational database management system. Okay, then the next key discipline, the next area you need to focus on is data visualization. Like I explained earlier, right? It's about summarizing the outcome of analysis in charts, tables, graphs, so that people can relate with it. So you must be able to tell a compelling story with your data. Do you understand? And keep your audience engaged. So if people cannot easily relate with your findings, then that is a problem. So people should be able to easily relate with your findings from the data. Some people are fantastic analysts. They know how to query data, but to present the outcomes is difficult. So you need tools like Power BI, like Tableau, or there's a library in Python called Matplotlib that you can also use to visualize data. So these are tools that will help you in data visualization. Don't forget the big names. They're actually simple to use. So Power BI, Tableau, Matplotlib library in Python will help you to visualize your data. Then lastly, you must understand at least one programming language, okay? Like R or Python. No, these people go for Python because it's robust, it's flexible. With Python, you can do quite a number of things, okay? So why do you need a programming language? Oftentimes, data analysts carry out repetitive tasks. You want to be able to automate those tasks such that you don't have to do it manually every time. So you're trying to eliminate the human efforts, input into it so that you could be more efficient in your value delivery in whatever project organization you find yourself. So with tools like Python and R, you can automate repetitive tasks and you can design some machine learning algorithms to do predictive analysis. So Python or R, it's also very, very important. Okay, so these are the three things you need to learn. You're starting your career in data analytics, having understood Microsoft Excel. These are the next three things, and I advise you learn them in this order. Take SQL first, then take data visualization and go to Python. Now, some people go to Python for, but I don't advise that. No, why do I say that? In Python, there is a popular library called Pandas and NumPy. It's built on SQL. If you understand SQL, you can code in Pandas. It's relational in nature. You can code in Pandas. So if you understand SQL very well, Python will be easier for you to grab. Under data visualization, or for example, Power BI, there is a functionality in Power BI called DAX. It's data expression language. That is the equivalence of SQL in Power BI. You code using DAX in Power BI. You do some measures, you create some measures using DAX. So if you're very, very good at Excel, SQL, Power BI will be easy peasy for you, and as well as its contemporary, which is Tableau, will be easy peasy for you. So I always advise people go with SQL first. It's foundational. Do you understand? It's fundamental for you to progress in your career as a data analyst. Okay. Thank you. ID comes with another question again. Thank you, ID, for this question. You say, where does business intelligence come in? Is it at visualization, or where? Or is it an entirely different function? I see a lot of analytics and business intelligence. Okay, thank you for this question. Fantastic one, ID. Okay, so this comes in job roles. You understand? It's just a way of the organization or the recruiters trying to advertise different job roles. You will see data analyst, business intelligence analyst, data visualization analyst, data insights. They are to data insights analysts. Do you understand? All this means the same thing. It still boils down to data analysis. So if you're a business intelligence analyst, you are, it's just that you are focused in delivering business outcomes. You are focused on looking at insights in a particular business area. Maybe it's they're into sales, or they're into healthcare, or they're into transportation. We have quite a number of transportation companies in the UK, Vantage, Stagecoach, quite a number of them. So if you are in that sector, business intelligence simply means you want to understand what the data is saying in that business area so that you can make informed decisions. Let's say, for example, you take Vantage as an organization. You understand? You look at their data. how soon do they arrive at the pickup stations, the bus stations? How early do they arrive? According to the Google map, how early do they adhere to that time? You understand? What is their travel distance if you are going with V1? You understand? You compare that data with Stagecoach. Do you understand? What is their fare like? What is their discounts? So you compare, you look at that data. Sometimes you want to compare with competition and look at, okay, if Stagecoach is doing this, I think we need to be able to do something similar at V1. So you are looking at what the data is saying around that business area, and you can generate insights and present to management, and they can make data, they can adjust. Okay, maybe we could offer more promo during the peak period, you understand, or during the off-peak period. We discover that we get more passengers at a particular point in time. Or, okay, we don't need to deploy a particular number of buses at this particular period because there are not so many people going out at this particular period. Don't let us deploy so many of these buses. Let's just deploy like few buses. Then in the peak period, we can deploy lots of buses so that maybe at intervals of maybe 10 minutes or 5 minutes, you are getting V1 at a particular station. Sorry to use a brand here. I'm so sorry. Sorry to use a brand. So I'm just trying to explain what business intelligence is. So with that, you can generate enough intelligence from the data around that business area and advise senior leadership on what decisions they can take. So that is business intelligence. Underneath it is data analysis. Okay, I hope that helps. ID there. Okay, so let's proceed with a slide. Now let's look at the skill sets. Having understood data, having understood data analysis, the different kinds of data out there, structured, unstructured, semi-structured, having understood the types of analytics you can do, then what are the skill sets required of me? What are the kind of skill sets I need to acquire? And the tools I need to start learning in order for me to begin my career as a data analyst. Number one, have a basic knowledge of cleaning data. Now, why data, oftentimes data cleansing or data cleaning and preparation is a work of a data scientist. You understand? Sometimes a data analyst, you also must learn how to clean data, because sometimes you will get some data that are not that has noise in them. When data is dirty, when data is not conforming to a particular format, or there are unwanted items, elements in the data, we say the data has noise. So eliminating noise is what we call data cleaning and preparation. You want to remove some certain characters that are not wanted in the data. So you need some basic knowledge of data cleaning or data cleansing. Data cleansing, it could also be professional, it could also be advanced. That will be taken care of by data scientists or data engineers. So that's some basic tools that could help you clean data. Excel is fantastic. You can use Excel. Text to column function in Excel can help you to clean data. Find and replace function in Excel can help you to clean data. You understand? I'm going to demonstrate that in some when we get to the answer. I will demonstrate. That's why I advise everybody to join with their laptop. Please make sure you join with your laptop. If you join with your phone, you may not get so much value when we get to the answer section. So Ultra Edit is another powerful tool. Ultra Edit, Notepad++, but they're the same thing. No, I just like Ultra Edit because I've been used to it. Do you understand? Very, very light. Just like Notepad++. You can use it to clean data. Find and replace functionality in these softwares help you to clean data. Let me see if I can bring what Ultra Edit looks like so that you have a visual representation of what it is. So look at this is what I call Ultra Edit. You understand? So it's a free tool. It can hold millions of data. This tool can hold, depending on the resources on your system and your hard disk storage. ultra edit can hold millions of data. Do you understand? It's find and replace feature. Whereas find and replace. This feature is very, very powerful in ultra edit. Very, very powerful feature. So you can find and replace data, look for a particular character that you don't want in the data and replace it. You understand? So if you look at find alt F3, we help you do that. So find and replace, or Control R, we do that. So you can replace. We see that during the practical session. So this is how ultra edit looks like. Notepad++. We have Notepad++. Yeah, let me see, how does Notepad plus looks like? Okay. I don't think I have it readily here. It's on my server. Okay. I don't want to log into the server. So this is how ultra edit looks like. Okay, for those of you that are interested in it. Okay. So also you can do data cleansing using SQL, Python, Unix shell commands. Unix shell commands is for advanced users, though. So if you are savvy with shell commands, you can clean data using that software also. Data wrangling is very common with data engineers and data scientists. This is actually when data comes in a format which the human cannot interpret. It is not in human readable formats. It comes maybe in binary formats or some other formats, ASN.1, maybe formats that you can't easily make sense of it. The data engineers, they understand programming language. They use programming languages like Java, Python, Unix shell commands, and specialized software called decoders. So they decode, they translate this machine-based data to human readable data so that it now makes sense to you and I, which are the analysts. Okay, so as a data analyst, you are not so much concerned with data wrangling. Do you understand? So although some people also classify data cleansing as wrangling. Do you understand? So sometimes they use the terms interchangeably, data cleansing, data wrangling, but professional users, advanced users like data engineers and data scientists do more data wrangling with programming languages. Then the next skill set is exploratory data analysis. This is powerful. This is powerful. Now, this is your bread and butter as a data analyst. You do EDA. EDA is exploratory data analysis. And what does it mean? Very, very simple term. Don't let the vocabulary confuse you. I never knew I've been doing EDA. I've been doing EDA for a very, very long time. I never even knew I was doing EDA until I came across this term. I was like, so this is what I've been doing all this while. I never knew. EDA is very, very simple. What does it mean? Asking the data question. You're trying to get yourself familiar with the data. What is this data all about? Why is this column here? If I'm looking at sales data, for example, you have order number, you have quantity ordered, you have unit price, you have sales, you have delivery date. Just along those lines, you have those kind of data. You're just trying to understand, okay, quantity, how is quantity represented? How is unit price represented? Is it dollar denominated? Is it pounds denominated? Is it euro denominated? What's the precision of the unit price? Is it in 2 decimal places, on 3 decimal places? If I multiply the unit price by the quantity, will I get the sales of that particular order? So you're trying to just pay attention to what the data is talking about. You are understanding, and believe me, as data analysts, 85% of your job is EDA. We spend more time sitting with the data, trying to understand what the data is saying. What's the correlation with among different columns of the data? What's the correlation between this data and another data set? So if you have customer data, you have sales data, you have employee data, how do they relate with each other? What's the correlation? What's the unique identifier between this data, this data, you are given 5 data sets. You just want to understand how they relate to each other or one another. That is EDA. And 80 to 85% of the time as data analysts, our job is EDA. Once EDA is completed, the rest is easy peasy. You just analyze, summarize, and you present your findings. So EDA is very, very important for a data analyst. 80 to 85% of the time, our job is EDA. We spend a lot of time trying to understand what the data is saying, what the data is talking about. What's the trend of the data? Are there outliers, in the data? Correlation with, within the data sets or the data set with external data sets like that. And once you gain a full understanding of the data, I'm telling you, the rest is easy peasy. And you do EDA with SQL, Python, you can do EDA with Power BI or Tableau, you can do EDA with Excel, depending on the nature of the data or the volume of the data. Then also you must have some statistical knowledge about data, not very deep statistical knowledge, the measurements of deviations, mean, regression, hypothesis like that. Just understand certain statistical elements about data. Then the next skill is data visualization. I have spoken extensively about this. So the tools here are Power BI, Tableau, Matplotlib library in Python, and so on. There are several data visualization tools out there, but these are the very common ones that comes to mind, okay, that we use regularly, that organizations look out for, even in their job descriptions, okay. You also have ClickView, you have ClickSense. Those are data visualization tools, okay. Then the next skill sets you need as a data analyst is what? Problem solving. And there is no other tool for problem solving than the human mind. The human mind is so powerful. You must be ready to solve problems. Like I said, data analysts solve problems. We solve problems. We help organizations to make data-driven decisions by looking into the data, asking the data questions, and recommending solutions. That's what we do. So you must be ready to solve problems. And lastly, as data analysts, you must be able to communicate your findings from your data to your stakeholders, your audience. You communicate in writing, in speaking, presentations. So you must learn how to use tools like Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Power BI, Tableau. Okay, we've organized different hackathons for data analytics professionals, and we asked them to come and present. And some people were busy presenting in Python, and presenting in SQL, in Power. No. When you come to presentation tools, you use PowerPoint to do your presentations. Or if you want to make interactive presentations, then you can do Power BI. Even your Power BI, you should have published your reports, not even the Power BI software. You can publish your reports online, or publish your reports to teams or to other users. Then they can collaborate with it. They can interact with your reports. They can touch and it will display. You understand? That functionality exists in Power BI and Tableau. Okay. Okay, somebody is asking a question here. Oh, somebody said I'm not sharing my screen. Oh my God. Let me see. Okay, I thought what happened. Please confirm you can see my screen.
We can see your screen. See the screen. Yes, we can see your screen. Skill set of data analyst and.
Okay, let me share the screen again, please. Okay, so that's what we see there, the skill set of a data analyst. I think somebody asks, why do we need statistical knowledge? Okay, and please try to understand me. I don't mean you should go and study statistics, do you understand, as a subject. If you have a data set, For example, in a supermarket, you would like to know the average sales in a particular month, in a particular quarter. You understand? You want to know the average sales of a particular set of products, a product line in a particular period. That is statistics. Average or mean, you understand, is a statistical term. So I expect you to know how to take the average of a set of numbers. Standard deviation, you want to know how to calculate outliers. How does your data, your sales, deviate, from the average? You want to know how maybe how your total sales deviates, how your sales deviate from the average. So if averagely you have been making $20,000 sales in a week, all of a sudden your sales drop to $5,000 in a week. Something has happened. That's a deviation. Do you understand? That's a deviation. So if you don't have the statistical knowledge to be able to calculate that deviation, you won't know what has happened. Okay, so that's what I mean by a bit of statistical knowledge, not the the big statistics. Okay, so I hope that answers that question. Sarah, thank you for that. Okay, thank you. Okay, Chidima, thank you for this question. You said, can one get a job with 0 job experience after learning data analysis for 6 to 7 months, as you said, given the maximum required learning time and meeting up with projects? Okay. Now, let me tell you this. There is nothing like 0 job experience. Maybe you are thinking because you are not paid for that job. That's why you're classifying it as a 0 job experience. During your process of learning or engagements, like if you engage with us, we put you on a project. At the end of your courses, we put you on a project. You have to demonstrate your expertise on that particular project and make presentation. That alone is an experience. It's an experience. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to be paid for it. Number 2, you can also go for internships, or you can volunteer to be on certain projects. Like, thank God for the ladder back down. They are doing a great job there. So they have different projects you could volunteer in, you understand, and contribute to such projects. At the end of the period of that project, you must have learned 1 or 2 things. You can put it in your CV. You understand? It doesn't mean you have to be necessarily paid for it. You can put it in your CV. So throughout your 6 or 7 months of learning, you must have gone through some projects or volunteering or maybe internship, maybe with a professional. All those experiences, stack it up inside your CV, and you can use it to market or sell yourself. Okay? I hope that answers your questions, Chidinma. Okay. So moving away from the skill sets of a data analyst and the tools, becoming a data analyst, what do you need to do? Or what do you need to become a data analyst? I'll keep it very simple. Number 1, you need passion. Passion for what? Passion for data, passion for numbers. If you are somebody that numbers is boring to you, you don't like looking at large numbers. When you see numbers, you fizzle out. Data analysis is not for you because it's about numbers. According to Pythagoras, he said the world is about numbers. Everything about you is a number. You understand? Your name has a character length. You understand? If I ask you to calculate the number of characters in your name, you will give me a number. Your age is a number. Your date of birth is a number. In fact, dates are stored as number in spreadsheet applications, in databases, in programming languages. Dates are stored as numbers. That is why you can calculate the age of a person by subtracting the dates of birth from the present year. That's how you get the age. It's about a number. Your house is about a number. The distance you walk from your house to the bus station is a number. The amount you paid for the bus is a number, is a figure. So data analysis is about numbers. So you must have passion for numbers. Some people see large volumes of numbers of data and they run away. So you must have passion for numbers. So I want to ask you, where is your passion? Listen to this video. That will help you to understand how passionate one could be. Okay, so for football lovers, for those of you that love football, it is a man called Santiago Sanchez. The man decided to walk all the way from Spain to Qatar to support his national team in the upcoming in the then FIFA World Cup that took place in Qatar, the concluded FIFA World Cup. Listen to the story.
Los sueños, si no les pones una fecha, no se cumplen. Es que decir, tal día me voy y tal día me fui. Hoy, 8 meses después, aquí estoy. Para llegar hasta aquí he tenido que pasar Francia, he tenido que cruzar Mónaco, Italia, también pasé por San Marino, que hay que decirlo, crucé en barco a Albania, de Albania pasé por Grecia, Turquía y ahora estoy aquí en Irak, en el Kurdistán. Después cruzaré por Irán y finalmente llegaré a Qatar.
عجيبي مثلا اسبانيا بیا بدوره و اول میگه رحمه وابد واسطی هسته گله خوش بی هسته مش نفسي ویلی هات اش صبحی دزبا نفسي بكم منظم بم صحتك وك يوم محبت اشش في دولت بچن في دولت روتي صحتای خوش اول هسته گله خوش بی بومش بو
Yo no camino con mis piernas, yo camino con mi mente. Y si la mente está bien, el cuerpo está bien. Que no ha sido fácil llegar hasta Qatar y para darles un poquito de energía y motivación para que lo dejen todo en el campo.
Wow, interesting. This is very, very interesting. When I come across this video, I say, oh, wow, this is passion. This is passion. How long does it take to walk from Spain to Qatar? I don't want to imagine. But passion drove Sanchez to do that. Well, unfortunately, his country did not win the World Cup. I'm so sorry. Spain got kicked out. I think it was in the second round or in the quarterfinals. I'm not very, very sure. I'm not a football enthusiast. Okay, but his passion is worth discussing. So as a data analyst, what's your passion? You must have passion for this discipline. That's what will enable your mind to keep learning. Within the set timelines, the targets you're giving yourself, a passion will drive you to learn. In addition to passion, you need time. You need time to study, time to watch videos, time to practice, okay? So I always tell my students, you never get better at doing nothing. You understand? You can only get better by trying. So you have to get your hands wet on data and keep trying until you get better at it. So you need a device with adequate resources and good internet. Somebody called me, oh, I want to learn data analytics. I have a phone. So you go and sell your phone. I use it to buy a laptop. I had some money to buy a laptop. So you need a laptop, to do this training. You need a good laptop, good resources, and good internet speed, because you're going to be going online, seeing different resources, watching different videos. Then I have a love for mathematics, not big mathematics. So don't be scared when I say mathematics. At least you must know how to do simple multiplication. You must know how to do division. You must know how to do subtraction, multiplication, exponentiation. Do you understand? Because there is a way to write 2 raised to power 2 in SQL. There's a way to write that, or in Python. So if you understand the mathematics behind it, then it's coding it on Python or on SQL is not going to be a challenge. Once you know 2 raised to power 2, how to do 2, or you understand the concept of 2 raised to power 2, you understand the concept of Pythagoras theorem that the square of the hypotenuse of a right angle triangle is equal to the square of the opposites of the adjacent and the opposites, and like that. So just some basic mathematics. I'm not saying deep mathematics, because some people may want to run away mathematics. So don't be afraid. Then, of course, you need somebody to hold your hand, like the ladder back down. That's why I love this concept of the ladder back down. You see, you need somebody to hold your hand. That guy standing up the ladder, holding the guy trying to climb, is what we refer to as coaching and mentoring. You understand? So you need somebody to be able to do that, for you. Okay. Let's quickly move away from this. I think we should take a break. Let me answer some questions on the chat, then we take a break. When we come back from the break, or we finish the slide, just about a few slides left, then we are going to do some hands-on, Be ready with your system. We're going to do some hands-on on data analysis. Okay, so I'm just trying to take the question. Toyin Oba said, I have worked in the internal control units of a bank for 8 years. Wow, that's quite impressive, Toyin. Okay, and later led banking to work as a chief operations manager, okay, in a new startup IT firm. I presently signed up for Google Data Analytics certification course on Coursera. Well, that's good, that's interesting. Okay, I'm presently on module 3, hoping to complete the 8 modules by August. Please, am I on the right track? And how else can I brush up my data analytics skills as I intend to transition into tech fully as a data analyst? Well, I salute your courage, Tony Oba. I salute your courage. This is impressive. This is impressive. And I love your passion. You've already started on Google Data Analytics, which is fantastic. I ask all my students and all those that meet us for advice. Google Data Analytics is a smart way to go. In addition, I also recommend you go for IoT classes. You understand? How do I mean IoT? Instructor-led classes. Because you get to interact with a live human instructor that will be able to hold your hand, like we see in the ladder background, and mentor you through the process. The online learning platforms are very, very good. The YouTube, the LinkedIn, the Coursera, the Udemy, they are very, very good, but sometimes they don't deliver the value upcoming data analysts need. Do you understand? Value in the sense that the ability to ask questions on the spot and get answer. You won't get that on those learning platforms. The ability to collaborate with other students, in the class, and network and share knowledge, you won't get that on those learning platforms. The ability to ask the lecturer or the instructor to pause, to stop, and clarify some certain understanding on data analysis, you won't get that on that platform. The ability for the instructor to change his learning style. Sometimes when you are instructing a set of people and you see, you analyze your students and you get some questions, you may want to change the delivery style. You understand? If they are not learning in the way you are teaching, you want to teach in the way they will learn. So you may want to change that style and use some certain examples, that are relatable to pass home a certain points that you can't get on those delivery platforms. So in addition to what you are doing, which is very, very fantastic, also try to subscribe to IoTs. Okay, I think that will help you, and you will get projects, in that on that platform, and you can be guided on the projects. You can be guided on how to complete the projects. Okay. Thank you for that question. I hope I answered that. Adetong Adewakun, you are asking, is the emergence of AI a threat to future of data analysis or complements or a complement to it? I recently read an article reflecting on this. Okay, AI, it's becoming the new normal now. There's nothing you can do about that. You understand? But is it a threat to data analysis? No. Short answer is no. But is a complement to data analysis. I will give you an example. So the emergence of AI does not eradicate jobs. Do you understand? What does it do? It stops job in a particular sector and creates another job in another sector. That's what this AI, that's what they do, these emerging technologies. You understand? They don't totally eradicate jobs. So jobs are stopped in a particular form or sector, then they create more jobs. It's just that the jobs that are now created by the emergence of AI, they were not created in the place they were lost. That's just the difference. That's just the little trick to the AIs here. So it's a complement to data analytics. And I will give you an example. ChatGPT, for example, I have used it to solve a lot of problems. It has made my life very, very simple. Do you understand? I will give you practical examples. I code in SQL very well, and I learned SQL with Oracle database. So I'm an Oracle certified expert. And during the course of my journey, depending on where I found myself, the projects I'm working on or the organization I find myself, they use different databases that are not Oracle. Do you understand? I'm an Oracle expert. Okay, though I'm also handy with other coding platforms like MySQL, which has been brought over by Oracle, and some other platforms. Okay. So what did I do? So I found myself on a project. I was working on a project in the US for a particular health insurance organization, Centera, and it was Microsoft SQL Server that they were using on that. I have never worked with Microsoft SQL Server, but I got myself on the project. What do I need to do? It was simple. All the codes that I needed to write, I wrote them in Oracle SQL. You understand? I brought up ChatGPT. Could you please convert these codes to SSMS, that is SQL Server Management Studio, convert it. And the ChatGPT converted everything. And I took them to SQL Server Management System and I did the job. And it was fantastic. it was really fantastic. And I haven't got a praise for that. But I have not learned SSMS as a coding language, but ChatGPT helped me in doing that. So what do I mean? These AIs, they are what you call enablers, or what you call complement. They complement on the knowledge, the fundamentals you have. So I tell people, be fantastic, be good with the fundamentals. Otherwise, AI will not help you. If you're not good with the fundamentals, ChatGPT will not deliver value to you. So you have to be good with the fundamentals. I was good with the fundamentals, so I could use ChatGPT to change my codes, to solve problems. Okay, so that is the little explanation that I can give to that question, Adetun. I hope that answers it. Okay, Chidima, you're asking again, do you take any new students to train? Yeah, Chidima, okay, you can contact us. I will leave my contacts at the end of this schedule. You can contact us. We take it up from there. Sunday Akinsanya is asking, can necessity, not passion, drive an aspiring data analyst? Yes. Yes, necessity is a need. That need will drive. that need will make you passionate. Yes. Passion is a force that drives you towards something as a result of what you have experienced. Maybe, for example, you lost a loved one to cancer, for example. And as a result of that pain, you said, no, nobody will die again from cancer. And you do what? You try to set up an organization, a foundation that helps in the early detection and the treatment of cancer. So you become passionate about that cause because you've lost a loved one to cancer. You understand? You become passionate about that cause. And what drove you to that is necessity, because you don't want anybody to die again, from cancer. So you are correct. Well, necessity will it will drive your passion. Okay. So I think I will take one or two questions. Please, can you recommend a good IoT platform? Please contact us. I will leave my contacts. IoT. It's IoT instructor-led training or instructor-led classes. You're correct. You're correct. IoT. Okay, fine. Sarah said, I am not good with numbers, but I'm desperate to learn data analysis. Please talk to us, Sarah, at the end of this presentation. I will drop my number so you can talk to us, help you. Okay. I think this is where we take a break. I don't know how many minutes break do we take before we come back for the hands-on session. Thank you. Ibukun, can you hear me, please? Thank you very much, Ibukun. Thank you to everyone on this platform. Quite appreciate your time you have spent here with us. I hope it's been worthwhile. Okay, so we're going to continue from where we left off. If there are more questions, please kindly put them in the chat. I will respond to them as soon as I can. Okay, so excuse me. Like I said, if you are joining with your mobile phone, if it's possible, kindly join with your laptop, because we're about transiting into the hands-on section. So we're going to take a particular tool and see how we can take it from the beginning to a particular level. I don't know how much we can go, as long as time permits us, because this session is ending by 3 p.m. I have 2 other training classes I have to take today. Yes. Okay. So Esther, the recorded session will be shared, provided you are registered for the events. Please make sure you're registered for the events. The recordings will be shared. Okay, so let's move from passion, time, your device, your love for mathematics and coaching to something else. Okay, so now this is just an overview of the key industries involved with data analysis. There are quite a number of industries. Every sector, almost every sector, you find yourself are involved with data analysis. There's data in every sector. They may not just have realized the value in the analysis of those data and using it to make data-driven decisions. Okay, so but in every sector, that data is useful. Okay, in the banking sector, to fight fraud, you can grow your customer base. You can do some predictive analytics to know the customers who haven't been transacting with their accounts, and you can determine the number of days before those accounts goes into dormant or becomes redundant, and you can begin to communicate or engage with those customers and see the kind of product or services you can offer them to keep them using those accounts. Okay. Out sector, the sector in which I work in presently, we use data a lot, to improve processes, the waiting time to see a GP, the kind of claims our customers are entitled to, making sure they get the proper claim, at the right time. We use data a lot, to improve, staffing in the hospital, medical records. We ensure confidentiality. A lot of things we do in the healthcare industry. Also, e-commerce uses data a lot. All those cookies that are being taken, those data that are being taken whenever you browse the internet are used by e-commerce industries a lot. So a lot of ads are generated from those cookies. They can use it to build predictive and prescriptive analytics. They can use it to engage customer, manage their inventory, reward their customers, or make them stick to the brand. Along those lines, government uses data to determine budgets, expenditure, and they fight crime. You understand? One big area is the surveillance system, the footage. All the streets of UK, every corner, everywhere, there are footage. There are surveillance cameras. There are real-time analytics that goes on, on those kind of data. So they use data a lot. Finance, of course, financial forecasting, financial statements. One of the companies I worked with, we always ensure the completeness, the accuracy, the validity of all the revenue that goes into the financial statement. So as a listed organization, they prepare prepare financial statements. So by law, you're required to ensure your financial statements reflect a true and fair position of the entity. So the statements of financial position, the statements of equity, the statements of profits or loss. So all the data that goes into the general ledger, we make sure that they are available, they are valid, they are accurate, before they go into the financial statement, so that it reflects a true and fair position of the entity. Otherwise, you could pay some penalties, for misrepresentation, overstating your revenue. You could pay some penalties during audits. Okay, so we make sure all those data are intact, and from there, the organization can make decisions, or saying all those statements. They can, in collaboration with their stakeholders, shareholders, they can make informed decision on the going concern of that particular entity, because every business should actually be a going concern. Okay, just to mention a few. So, like I said, several industries, several sectors uses data, but these are just a few we could come up with at this time. Okay. Now, this is another interesting slide, and this will lead to the answer we are going to carry out shortly. So I'm just going to go through this slide briefly, then I will come back to it during the answer section. I'll come back to it because this will guide us. So this is how data analysts approach their tasks. So any projects you find yourself, any assessments you are given to do, this is how you should approach it. And this was coined from Google Data Analytics. Many of you that's on that course, Google Data Analytics on Coursera, you will understand what I'm talking about. So this is adapted. It was adapted from Google Data Analytics. So the first thing you want to do is to ask. Data analysts, they ask a lot of questions. So in every data analytics project, exercise, or assignments, there is always a problem, because we solve problems. That's what we do. We solve problems using data. So you want to define the problem. What is a problem? For example, the problem could be there are lots of inventories that are going obsolete, you understand, in a supermarket. And as a result of that, it's leading to high costs, high holding costs, wastages, and it's affecting their bottom line, that is their profits, because by the time they net off all these costs from their revenue, there's little or no profit. So what could you do as a data analyst to help the supermarkets, manage their inventory, their holding costs along those lines to ensure they maximize or optimize their profits? There could be a problem statement, you understand? What is the expected outcome? Profit should increase. They want to see an increase in bottom line. and costs should be optimized to ensure they are not holding so much inventory that is not needed. Before you know what is happening, the inventories become obsolete. Maybe it has reached the expiry date. I recently bought some nuts, yes, mixed nuts in the supermarkets here in Manchester, and only for me to discover that it has expired. You understand? It has expired. And I just walked up to the salesperson. I told her, look, this thing has expired. They were just apologizing. They were just apologizing. We are sorry, when you can drop it, we make it up for, things like that. No, if there's a proper inventory management system, few days before the expiration of that product, it will have popped up on the dashboard, and they will have taken out that product away from the shelf. Things like this could lead to litigation against the organization, and you understand, to litigation costs. So you don't want that to happen in the organization. So data is important. Okay, so you define the expected outcome. How do I define success? Or if at least in the next quarter, in the next 2 quarters, profits can increase by 15%, that is a success. Then we will be informed, your stakeholders. You prepare, you start with your preparation. What is the timeline for the completion of that particular exercise? It must not be open-ended. There must be a start time and an end time, which is characteristics of a project. You understand? The project must have a start time and an end time. So you want to work within those timelines as a data analyst, because you are solving a problem. You don't want to leave that problem in perpetuity. You have to define the scope, who is responsible, who has the authority to see the data, because sometimes we could be working in a highly sensitive sector environment where data is very, very sensitive, that the data shouldn't be exposed to people that should not have access to it. So you want to define all those criteria, right? The responsibility, who has what responsibility, who has the authority to access the data, and you collect your data. When you collect your data, you start processing the data. You look out for outliers in the data, check for completeness, clean the data, check for duplicates, ensure the integrity and quality of the data. How do I mean? If there are date values, ensure they're actually dates. Do you understand? If there are date values, what format is the date? Is it MMDD, YYYY, that's the American format, or the British format, which is DD, YYYY, and does it come with a timestamp or time? So it must be consistent. So a particular set of data should not be coming with MMDD, YYYY, and another set of data is coming the other way around, DD. No, you must be able to normalize, and we call it normalization. That means the values has to come in a particular format, in the same format. So ensure the quality, the validity of that data before you do all these checks. These are pre-checks on your data before you actually start analyzing. So once all those pre-checks are completed and you have derived comfort from the data, you proceed. If you don't derive comfort from the data, you clean it as much as possible. If there are outside what you cannot clean, there are just certain things you cannot tamper with in the data, you return it to the data owners. You return it. It has happened like that in past projects. The data I don't just want to mess with it. You have to return it to the data subjects, the data owners. And by the time they look at it, they will actually discover maybe there was an error during the process of extracting the data. So they will have to take a fresh extract and present it to you. Okay, so it has happened quite a number of times. Then you analyze. You start your analysis. This is where you start doing your EDA. Asking the data question, exploratory data analysis. You're asking the data questions. You're trying to gain understanding. What's the correlation that exists within the data sets? What's the correlation that exists outside the data sets? Summarize the data. Then the outcome of that, you cannot share your findings with senior leadership in a presentation or with other stakeholders. Then they make a decision based on the outcome of the data, and you have solved that problem. All you just need to do is to monitor the situation and see if the expectation is met. Okay, sometimes you surpass your expectations, sometimes you don't meet it, and you can iterate again. Okay, so these are the steps you go through when you are faced with a data analytics task. I have implemented this method several times, and it has really worked for me. Okay, there may be other methods that also works for you as a data analyst, but I have learned to use this method provided by Google, and it has worked for me. Okay, so this is the last slide in this presentation. Having said a lot about data analytics, what are the opportunities? What are the challenges? There wouldn't be opportunities without challenges. If you're able to summarize the challenges, the opportunities will open up for you. You understand? So the opportunities are out there, but there are challenges to harnessing the opportunities. So you must be able to deal with the challenges. One of the challenges is the collection of data. How do you collect data? So there are several ways you can collect data. But most of the time as data analysts, the data you want to work with is already in a repository. So you just have to query the data. Sometimes you may have to collect the data using forms like Google Forms, using some other data collection methods to collect the data about a particular subject. You have to do some research. Okay, but most of the time as a data analyst, the data you want to work with, especially if you're in business analytics or business intelligence, the data already exists in the organization. You just need to know where the data is and what tools you need to plug into the data repository and extract your data and start analyzing. Okay, then the types of data, the structured, semi-structured, and unstructured also presents a challenge to data analytics. But once you know how to use the different tools in working with this data, it should no longer be a challenge. The quality of data, how to identify quality, the volume of the data. Some people see large data sets, they fizzle out. Wow. I have worked with billions of data on a daily basis, billions of data on a daily basis. So most of my career is in the telecoms industry, and we analyze data about usage data. You see, when you're making a phone call, sending an SMS, when you are browsing, a lot of data points are generated, and there are billions of data, and we look at this data on a daily basis, we summarize them, and we're able to generate insights from this data. So I'm not afraid of data. Okay, so once you develop the mechanics of working with data, this should no longer be a challenge for you. Okay, selecting the right analytic tools, you have seen them. The skill sets you require, you've seen them. Data security, data inaccessibility, these are all the challenges associated with data. Looking past the challenges, we also see opportunities. And let's take a look. This is just a screenshot of the average pay of different data professionals. As a data analyst, you can land yourself a job of about $67,000 annually. Look at the data quality engineer or the data engineer. You understand? Yes, so you have about $74,000. The database administrator, these guys they don't analyze data. You understand? You can call them the data engineers also. They don't analyze data. All they do is build a system that holds the data, and they manage the systems, ensuring high availability, high scalability, security, and those database administrators. Fantastic profession. They earn as high as $80,000. The data modeler, these are the guys that looks at the different structures in the data, and they build relationships with different data entities. You understand? So you may have 20 sets of data that speaks to a particular subject. These guys bring all of them together and relate them together to form a whole, and you can make sense out of it. Okay, so they call them the data modeler, the model. Okay, BI engineer, also same thing as data engineer. Yes, same thing as data engineer. Look at the N as high as $116,000. No, these figures, are not recent, so it could be more now. It could be more now. This is far back, 2020 or 2021. Okay, so data scientists, you can see if you're a data scientist, this is the opportunity waiting for you out there. Okay, provided you can solve problems with data. The data architect, it's a similar role with data engineer and BI engineer. Okay, it's a similar role. So these guys build systems, they design databases. You know, they design systems that hold data. And look at the skill sets they are looking for. In this. So you could switch from one profession to another, depending on what is comfortable with you, and provided you have the relevant skill sets, SQL, ETL, data visualization, database management, Python, R, data cleansing, data wrangling, to mention a few. So these are the opportunities out there are waiting for people that are ready to take the bull by the horn and go through the process of learning, studying, and practicing how to become a data analyst. I'm not saying it's going to be easy at the start, but it's worth taking a try, taking the bull by the horn. And the ladder back down is here to help people succeed. And when I saw the concept of the ladder back down, I fell in love with, I fell in love with it, because this is helping people to succeed as much as possible. Okay, so we are here for you. Okay, so this is the end of my slide. I just want to show you the categories of the master classes we have. Then you can always contact us at the end of this presentation and we advance the discussion. So we have classes for SQL. SQL class is 10 weeks. It's always weekends. 2 hours on Saturday, 2 hours on Sunday. So that's how we do it, because we leave the week for you to study or get busy with your work. So you can always reach out to us on the numbers that are displayed on your screen. So 10 hours of coding sessions, 10 weeks of coding sessions, 4 hours every weekend, Saturdays and Sundays. So you have that. Then Power BI is a 4-week course. So it's fully hands-on also. Is it a Power BI or Tableau? Either you want to take, it's also available. Okay, then Python. Python is 10-week class. It's a 10 weeks period. You learn different techniques of analyzing data with Python. Okay, we also run a Scrum class. Scrum class is 6 weeks. We have a Scrum master in the house who is PSPO certified and PSM certified, and is also a business analyst, and is also a developer. So he combines both roles where necessary. Okay, he works with Andela. Okay, we also have a professional in the house that offers cybersecurity training. For those of you that want to advance into the field of cybersecurity, he is a certified cybersecurity expert, and is based out of Nova Scotia in Canada. So it's also a partner with us. So you can take advantage of those trainings with us. So you can contact us on the numbers showing on your screen. I'll be happy to attend to you. Okay, so this is where we draw the curtain on the presentation. So the next thing we're going to be doing is the hands-on. Okay, so if you have any question, I'm willing to take them just for in the next 3 minutes, and we go into the hands-on. Thank you very much for staying with us up to this moment. I quite appreciate that. So any question, let me quickly hand it out between 3 and 5 minutes, then we go into the hands-on section. Okay, to help you with the answer section, I'm going to put a data set on the charts. So please look out for the data set we are going to use in the charts. Okay. So, okay. Just give me a second. I'm trying to. Why is this? Okay, so let me attach the data set. I hope everybody should be able to have access to it. Right? Okay, why can't I touch? Okay, I think I get it. Give me a sec. Or maybe I should just drop the link and so that you guys can. I thought I should be able to attach it using the functionality on the chat group. I'm not seeing my computer being displayed. I'm just seeing Dropbox, Microsoft OneDrive, Google Drive. Okay, I have it in my Google Drive. So, look, I think I will just drop the link to the data set so that we can. Let me just drop the link here. Give me a second, please. Let me create the link to the data set and I will just drop it for you guys to pick it up. So, but that's what we're going to need to do the hands-on session. Okay, so I see it's, let me just stick it. Okay. Okay. Just give me a second, I'm almost there, please. Putting a data set in a Google Drive so that I could just grant you access to it. You just go to the Google Drive, pick it up. Okay, so I got it. Now just waiting the link. Okay. Okay, so done. Okay. Okay, I'm pasting the link here. So please let me know if you have access to the link. Just click on that link, Google Drive. It will take you to the Google Drive where you can download the data set. So if you can see the link, just type YY on the chat. If you can see the link, just type YY. So that let me know if you have seen the link. Okay, thank you, Esther. Thank you for that. Okay, thank you. So we're going to use one of the tools for data analytics. Let's use a simpler tool. Let's use Power BI. So we're going to go to Google. So if you just go with me on Google, go to download Power BI. Just download Power BI. Let's use Power BI quickly. Power BI desktop. So Power BI desktop. Okay. Go to download Power BI desktop. So just scroll down, make sure your Microsoft's websites. Okay, so this one. So you see this one. So let's just go to this one. My screen is still visible. Let's go to this one. Then just open. I'm opening it in a new tab. Let's go to that. Okay. It's opening. Okay. Probably interested in Power BI, so see the download link. I want to see the download link for Power BI. Okay. Okay, so I think I saw the download. Microsoft is changing their websites. Okay. At times, this is not what you see. Okay. Download Power BI desktop. So let's just click on this one. Download free. Yes. Power BI comes in free version. Power BI Pro. You have also the licensed version. Power BI Pro, but let's use the free version. So you see something like this should pop up. Other times, sometimes you should not redirect you to the Microsoft Store. Sometimes you can just have a direct link. Let me see which one of them has a direct link. Okay, let me see this one. This one, Power BI. Let me see if there's a direct link to this. Yes, this one has a direct link. So you shouldn't direct you to the website, to the Microsoft's marketplace. Okay, so let's use this one as a direct link. So powerbi.microsoft.com/eng/gb-download. So you could just let me just put this on the chat so that everybody you can just go to that chat. Just click on that. I'll place the link on the chat. So you just click on that link to download. And you come here. Download this particular one. There's a mobile version. There's also a gateway version, so don't go to those ones yet. You understand? Although they're also part of the Power BI suite. But what we're interested in is a Power BI desktop, the one you can install on your desktop. Sorry, Mac users, this is not available on Mac yet. For Mac users, the version you can use is the web version that we call Power BI service. So Power BI service enables you to also design dashboards, and you can share it with other people online. That's for you to use the Power BI service, you must have a domain account. You must have a domain account. You can't use your Gmail, Yahoo Mail, or Hotmail. Microsoft won't allow that. You understand? They won't allow that. So you have to have a domain account. So if you're with an organization, you can use your organization account. So you can do that on your Mac for now, because Microsoft has not delivered Power BI desktop for Mac. So this one is only useful for Windows users, the people that are using Windows. So just go to download, click on downloads where you go to advanced. If you go to advanced, it will show you some other options, other download options for advanced users. And I think you may want to see what type of users. Okay. So if you come here, if you click details under advanced, there are two sets of files. One is 64 bits, and the second one is a 32-bit software. Now, this is important because you need to know the type of, if you have Power BI, you are good to go. So don't worry, if you have Power BI, you are good to go. Just we'll bring in the data set into Power BI, you are good to go. So you need to know the one to download. If your Windows operating system is a 64-bit version, you have to download this one. But if you have a 32-bit Windows operating system, then you need to download this. How do I know if my system is 32 bits or 64 bits? That's simple, actually. On your taskbar, on the left-hand side, bottom left-hand corner of your taskbar, you type system or SYS. Just type SYS. And the search portion that is on the bottom left-hand corner of your taskbar, type system or SYS. The system information pops up. Click it. Click on that. Then you will see something like this. You should see something like this. Yes, you should see. Let me expand this. Go to system type. Under system type, just click on it. It will tell you if your system is a 64 bit or 32 bits. So if you have 32 bits here, you have to download this one. But if you have 64 bits, like mine is 64 bits, then you download this. So just click on the 64 bits version, then you are good to go. Okay, then this is just a language. So if you're not English speaking, your language is Hindi. So you can just click on Hindi and download. So just click download. So here I'm choosing 64 bits. You understand? Because my system is 64 bits. Then just click next. So your download should start automatically. Just look at the your taskbar, bottom left-hand corner of your taskbar. You will see this icon. Depending on the speed of your system, it should download faster. So it doesn't take time. It should download faster. Okay, I have already downloaded Microsoft Power BI, so I'm not going to wait for this. So once yes comes up, I'll give you some time. Once yes comes up, just click on this, on the status bar, click on the executable file and just begin the installation process. Just click next till you finish installing Power BI. It's that simple to install. It's not difficult. Okay, so if you have finished installing Power BI, it will launch automatically. If it doesn't launch, go to your start menu. You should see Power BI or under search on your taskbar, left-hand corner of your taskbar, you type Power BI and you click on Power BI Desktop. Click on Power BI Desktop. So it will just give it some time, it will come up. Okay. Okay, so my Power BI is coming up. If you are finished installing and your Power BI is up, can you just type YY? You are done with the installation process and your Power BI is up, please type YY. Okay, AK, if you want to know if your system is 64 bits or 32 bits, I just explained that. You just go to the search bar on your taskbar left-hand corner, type SYS, then click on system information. You will see something like this. You will see something like this. Under system summary, just go to system type. You will see X64. Excuse me. X64 simply means your system is a 64 bits. If you don't see X64, it's a 32 bits system. So you download a 32-bit version. Okay. I hope that clarifies the question, AK. Okay, so once you launch Power BI for the first time, this is what you will see. Beg your pardon. Just give me a sec. Okay, this is what you will see. You understand? Once you launch Power BI Desktop, these are the list of items, the list of tasks I already have opened, I've worked on before. Okay, so this just tells you the welcome screen, tells you what Power BI can do, some other useful links to Power BI, but we don't need this at this point in time. So you can just cancel this, and you have the Power BI desktop itself. Okay, where is it? So I'm just bringing it here. Okay. So I have Power BI desktop. Okay. So how many people? Okay. So if you are here, please type YY. Let me know. I'm going to wait for you a bit once you are here, but we need to move faster. My time is really, really counting. Okay. Only one person. So if you are here, if you are at the same position with me, if your screen is here, your Power BI is done, type YY. Okay, so I've seen other YYs. Okay, let me see more YYs before I continue more. Let it keep coming. You are here, type YY. If you need help, please put it in the group chat. If you need help, put it in the group chat. Let's see where we are. Okay, thank you, Tony Oba. Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Adeto. Thank you, Chirima. Thank you. You are there. So let's keep coming. Let it keep coming. 2 more minutes. YY. If you are here, type YY. If you are here, type YY. I'm sorry if you're on the mobile, you may not be able to join us in doing this. Though there is Power BI for mobile version. Well, that's a discussion for another day. There's Power BI for mobile, there's Power BI for desktop, which is what we are doing now. There's Power BI for web. Okay, thank you, Larry Waju. 1 more minute, please. 1 more minute. Then we continue. 1 more minute, please. 1 more minute. Okay, let the YY keep coming. YY, please. We don't have enough yet. We don't have enough words. I don't think we have 10% of the attendance here that have installed the Power BI in their system. It's quite easy to install, so it shouldn't take you up to 15 minutes to do that. Okay. 30 more seconds, please. 30 more seconds, then we continue. 30 more seconds. 30 more seconds. Okay, 30 more seconds. 10 more seconds, 10 more seconds to go. 10 more seconds. If you are here, type YY, type YY. Okay, thank you, Sarah. Okay, just download fast, Okay, so the installation is quite straightforward. Just click next. Next. Where's my Power BI? Where is it? Download. Okay. Okay, so if you have it on download, so this Power BI, so you just double click Power BI. I've already installed it, so there's no need for me to do this. If you just double click on the executable file or on the application file, it should come up. I'm just going to take this away and just follow the instruction next till you finish. Okay, so let's continue. The first thing we're going to do is bring in the data. Okay. According to Google Data Analytics, let me look at this slide. Where is that slide? Okay, so according to this slide, there has to be a problem definition. Do you understand? So let me give you a simple problem definition. Okay, Vikot Integrated Solutions, it's data analytics organizations that is saddled with the responsibility of providing data analytics training to young professionals who want to migrate into the field of data analytics, and at the same time providing data analytics consulting services to firms. Recently, they are looking at ways they could improve, they could increase their market share. So they organize quarterly data analytics workshop, and they are using this data to actually determine what category of students they should market their products to. So you need to be able to advise Vikot Integrated Solutions based on the data presented on how they can increase their market share by at least 15% every quarter. So every quarter there should be a 15% conversion in the market. So use the available data to advise Vikot Integrated Solutions. I'm going to give you data from one of our workshops, the data we collected from people that registered in one of our workshops. So using this data, you can analyze it and advise Vikot Integrated Solutions on the right decision to make to increase their market share by at least 15% every quarter. So what are the things they need to do? So this is an assignment. We may not be able to finish it in this class, but that's the problem statement. That's the outcome you need to generate with this data I'm going to provide to you. Then it's a project. See this as a project for you. For those of you that are looking for a project to do, if you're able to do this project very well, you analyze the data, you present it, you return it to us. You understand? You can advise us on what to do. We can implement those decisions from the data you have analyzed. And I know that there are experts here that can look into those data that I'm going to share with you now. You analyze it, bring out insights from the data and advise us on what to do. Implement it, and the idea is spot on. We can give you a recommendation, or you want a job referral, we can give you a job referral or recommendation you can put to your CV that you have done a project with us or with a ladder background. You can put in your CV, and that's a good one for you, don't you think? So we're going to use this approach. Okay, we're going to use this approach. Okay, someone is asking that I should write down the problem statements. Okay, please permit me if I can't do that right now. I think I detected it earlier. Permit me if I can do that now. Somebody who can scribe, I know some people got it. If you can scribe very well, you can just put the problem statements I mentioned. But if I have the time after this particular presentation, I can type it. But time is against me now to quickly type it. Okay, so we use this approach so we've defined a problem. You understand? We define a problem that's Vikot Integrated Solution currently is in we are at the bottom of the food chain when it comes to when it comes to the percentage of market share we have compared with other learning platforms like Coursera, Udemy. Do you understand? So we are still at the bottom of the food chain. So we are looking at what can we do with available data to ensure we increase our market share. So I'm just trying to summarize the proven statement again. So what is the expected outcome? The expected outcome is that at every quarter, that was 15%, we have to achieve a 15% gain, maybe in our revenue, in terms of the total number of students we are able to train. So if this quarter we are able to train 50 students, in the next quarter we should gain a 15% increase on that 50. So what is 15% of 50? You do the maths, and that is the success criteria for us. Then we will be informed. Of course, you want to inform the CEO of Vikot Integrated Solutions with your outcomes, present your outcomes to him. Then the next thing is prepare. What is the timeline? So from the end of this workshop to let's say we give you another 2 weeks, because we are just coming into the field. Let's say we give another, we can even give you up to a month. Let's give you up to a month, 4 weeks, because we don't expect everybody is an expert on data analytics. You have to make some research, make some findings, ask some questions from us. You understand? So let's give you 4 weeks from now. That 4 weeks from now, you should be able to turn in the outcome of this project to us. You understand? Then what is the scope? Since you are the one working now, so you don't really need to define so much scope. The responsibility is you. You have the authority to view the data. The data has been given to you. So you collect the data. What you have done is data collection. You have downloaded the data from the Google Drive. You've downloaded the data in CSV format. So please take notes of the formats of your data. When you download the data, you open it in your window. You should see the format, the type of the data. It shows that it's a CSV. There are different types of data types: Excel, CSV, SQL, or TXT. Like there are different formats of data. So then you now move to this third step. You start processing your data. So you can clean the data, check for duplicates, check for outliers, ensure that there is data integrity. So to do this, we now go to Power BI. To complete step number 3, you go to Power BI. So we bring in the data using Power BI. So you should have this on your screen. Everybody should have this. So you can import the data from Excel. You can import from SQL Server, Relational Database Management System. You can paste as a table. You can different formats, different ways to get your data into Power BI. That is why Power BI is powerful, because it supports different formats. How do I know? Go to get data. So to import your data into Power BI, you go to get data. Look at this on the home tab. On the home tab, go to get data. So you can see different formats that Power BI supports: Excel workbook, Power BI data set, data flows, SQL Server, text, CSV, web. You can bring in data from a website. You understand? Okay, so if you click more, you will see more data sources supported by Power BI. Just wait for the screen to pop up. Okay, so you can import a CSV. So you just have to choose. So if you're importing a CSV, use this option. If you're importing an Excel workbook, you use this option. But what we are importing is a CSV. So that's why I say pay attention to the format of your file. You understand? If you are giving a file, what we are doing, we are importing a flat file into Power BI. You understand? We are importing a flat file. So pay attention to the formats. If the format is TXT or CSV, use this option. If the format is XLS or XLLX, that is Excel, you use workbook. Okay. So if it's XML, you use XML, depending on the formats. JSON, use different types of format. Database, you can bring in from a database, Oracle database, IBM database, different types of databases. You can configure Power BI in such a way that automatically keeps importing your data from the database tables. You just do a one-time configuration, and that's all. And you set incremental refresh. There's a functionality called incremental refresh in Power BI and also in Tableau, so that it will be refreshing. Once new data comes in into the database table, it refreshes it, populates, refreshes all your dashboard, and everything it just comes automatically. You don't have to do anything. You just go into the dashboard and be checking what is being displayed. If you see anything that is wrong, you can go back to your ETL tool and check check maybe there's something wrong with the data, and you come back again and everything looks normal. You just hit one button, refresh button, and everything refreshes automatically. Okay, but today we're importing a flat file, and the data type of that flat file is Excel. So just click on this. Click connect. Okay, so it pops you up to the window or to the open window dialog box where that data is. Okay, let's go to where the data is. I saved it in okay, Vikot Solutions Analysis. Okay, I think there's the data. Yes, you can see my data type is CSV, comma separated. Say CSV. So I just double click this. Okay, so just wait for it to open up. Okay, beautiful. So look at your data format. Look at the way it is. So the first column is timestamp. This one is total score. This one is email address. You can see this data has been anonymized. PII has been removed. You don't understand? So to protect against data privacy, to protect data privacy, PII, that's personal identifiable information, has been removed. So you don't know who is who here. Okay. So just take a look at this data. So I have column. The columns are labeled column 1, 2, 3 to 10 to 13, like that, and look at this data. So you will agree with me that this data needs some cleansing. You understand? So it's depending on the kind of data you're asked to work with, you need to do some cleaning of this data. Okay. So if the data is okay, you have obtained comfort with the data in this preview and it's okay, go ahead and load it. But most of the time you may have to clean the data. You have to do some cleansing. If the data is not okay, then you have to clean the data. So I'm not comfortable with some of the things I've seen here. So what is this? Total score, what is this? Why is this one blank? So I don't know that someone wanted items in this data that is not, I'm not comfortable with. So I'm going to clean it. You understand? So you hit the transform button. So clean data on Power BI, you use the transform button. So we are now doing what we call ETL, extract, transform, and load. You remember the concept of ETL being used by data analysts, data engineers, data scientists to bring in data into a platform to be analyzed. So they use the concept of ETL, and there are different ETL tools. There are different ETL. We don't want to go into that today. Okay, so you hit transform, and it pops up the Power Query editor. Now let me tell you something about Power BI. The Power BI desktop has three components. Don't forget: Power Query, Power Pivot, and Power Visual. Those are the three main components of the Power BI. You understand? Power Query is the ETL tool, is the ETL functionality of Power BI. So it helps you to extract the information from any source. It will transform the data. It will now load the data into a table in Power BI. Okay, so that's the power of Power Query. So it's what makes Power BI Power Query. So now this is a data I have. If you can see, the actual column of the data is not coming as a header. It's not coming as a header. So what do I need to do? I will need to instruct the Power Query to make the first row as a header instead of column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, like that. You understand? So to do that, there is a functionality here. You can see here, use first row as headers. Yes, just click this. Click use first rows as headers. Okay, so I'll click that. Automatically, yes, and I have my column headers was spelled out. But look at this column header. What is this meaning of this? KM, CLI. So this should be email address, isn't it? Okay, so what I just need to change the column header, change the name. Right click on it, right click on the column header, go to rename. So just rename, change this to email address. Email address. I just put in shorts. Okay, we rename that to email address. Okay, what is this? This data does not make sense. It doesn't make sense. So Just click. Now, to do this, you may have to consult what we call the data dictionary, the specific. There's a document from IT or the data owners that tells you about the data, the structure of the data, what each of the columns meant. So if you're working on a project or an assessment, ask the data owners, please provide me the data dictionary. They will understand how this person is professional, you know what you're talking about. Provide me with the data dictionary or the specification documents. You can either use that or specification documents. Do you understand? Okay, I don't need this. I'll just right click and remove this column. Where is remove button here? Okay, remove, just click remove. Okay, that column is removed. I will also remove this. Remove it, it's not necessary. So whatever is not necessary there, you remove it. Email feedback, there's nothing, just check that there's nothing there. Click on this icon, on this little arrow pointing downwards, click on it, on that drop down. I see that there's nothing that is blank, it's a blank column. So you can just take it off, just the way you remove blank column from Excel, you can take it off. These names contain some unwanted characters. So how can I have first name? So I'll first replace this one, change the column, rename it to first name. So this should be first name. Okay, I've transformed that. Then this first name has some unwanted character, asterisk, no tilde, like that. So I want to remove all the unwanted characters. I want to clean the data. So I will use this functionality in Power BI called replace values. So I'll use right click on it, click replace values. What do you want to replace? Asterisk. Ask it to look for anywhere you have asterisk in the data, then replace with nothing. Replace it with nothing. Just keep this empty. No space, no space, nothing. Just leave it empty. Then click OK. It will remove all asterisk from that data. So can you see? You can change this to, you can change it to all capital letters. You can change it to all small letters. You can change it to sentences. There are different formatting options you can use to clean this data. This one, I'm going to remove it. I don't need it. Oh my God, data is interesting. I really would love to go on and on and on and on and on and on, you know, with this wonderful audience that are still with me these 3 hours. I wish I could continue, please. I wish I could continue cleaning this data and we can do a presentation. I wish I could, but my time is really up. My time is up. You will forgive me that I may have to stop here. Okay, so let's assume we are done cleaning the data. Let's assume we are done. All we just need to do, come to the left-hand corner, top left-hand corner, click this icon, close and apply. Then close and apply. So once you just click close and apply, it will load the data. It will now complete the ETL process, extraction, transformation, and loading. It will now load it. You can see it's loading, the data into the Power BI table layout. So let's give it some time. It will load the data. So please, if you have any further questions, I think we could just take a pause here and you can ask your question maybe for another 5 minutes or so. Let me just take questions for another 5 minutes, then we could close this session. Thank you so much for attending. So click on this table data view. So you can see these are my data. These are my data. So these are my data. So whatever I'm not comfortable with here, you can still go back to the Power Query editor and just right click on this, click on edit query. You come back here and format it, clean the data again. Once you are done, click close and apply. It will load it. It will load the changes. The changes you've done will reflect on this page again. Okay, so